Hello everyone and welcome back to Gran Turismo 7. We have a free Genesis X Gran Berlinetta VGT concept. That is how we are starting off this one. This is update 1.42 and this was as of a result of one of those viewers gift campaign things that were going on a while ago. So we get that car for free and save $1 million, but we're not going to get into that car quite yet because we have something far more important to do. A new Suzuki has been added and Suzukis take priority over everything else. We have a Suzuki Jimny XC 2018 specifically. But this is a K car and well, I mean, just look at the thing. I don't need to explain it. It's tiny, it's cute, it's a Suzuki Jimny and I love it. So we have a series of races to do in this car and a couple of other things as well. In fact, the other two cars we're going to be driving in this video are both VGTs, interestingly enough. But anyway, the Suzuki Jimny then. The Suzuki Jimny may belong to the K car class, but it's no less a rugged 4x4. Slight but strong, it combines urban agility with world-class off-road performance. Don't let its compact size fool you, this car can hit serious speeds. Equipped with physicality and functionality, it excels on even the roughest of terrain. Debuted in 1970, it was the first K car to boast genuine four-wheel drive. And for over 50 years, has built its storied success on tradition and change. And that is the story about the little Jimny. 63 horsepower, 1,030 kilograms, turbocharged, and adorable. So I'm looking forward to driving this thing. This is going to be cool. I've actually, already driven this car in a video before, truth be told, because it was the car used for the final round of the Nations Cup a while ago, of which I did not have a great time in that race, unfortunately. But anyway, like I said, there is actually a menu book to go with this car, a proper one, where it actually gives us races to do. And yeah, there are 3 races to do in the Suzuki Jimny. We'll be doing those right now. So we have one in Canada at Lake Louis, one in Italy at Sardinia Windmills, so a snow circuit and an off-road circuit to kick things off. And then we finish things off at a circuit I didn't even know existed until a short time ago. The Horse Thief Mile layout at Willow Springs, which is something I have never driven. So yeah, this is going to be interesting to see how this goes, but we'll save that one until last. We're going to start with Lake Louis and yeah, get the snow one out of the way first. It's going to be a lot of fun. These cars should be pretty cool to drive, so yeah, without any further ado, let's just get into it and head off to Lake Louis for the first round of the Jimny Cup. Not a terribly long race because these cars in Gran Turismo terms are not particularly fast, but we've still got a few laps to get through the field. Little meep meep horn, which just adds to the fun as we get racing here at Lake Louis. Actually very similar to the Nations race. It's the same variant of the circuit. I believe the Nations race went in the other direction though. We're going anti-clockwise at the moment. I believe the Nations race was clockwise, but it's the same layout of Lake Louis, the middle or the short circuit, I guess, as opposed to the long circuit or the tri-oval. But anyway, let's focus on the race because we are starting to try and find our way up through the field. We've made one overtake already up into P11, but we're going to need to make a lot more progress than that as we're trying to find our way through the next group. Oh, into the wall and front wheels off the ground there as yeah, we get a little bit caught out by that section, but we should be fine. We managed to keep enough speed to stay in touch, so it's yeah, going to be quite tricky because everyone is basically driving the same car. We do need to make sure we are maximizing as much as possible, as we have a nice conga line of cars in front of us now. At the end of the first lap of 3, we're up into 7th position, so decent progress on the first lap. We'll need to keep this up if we want to have any chance of winning this one. Maybe we are lacking a bit of horsepower, so the others may have some upgrades on the cars, because we are certainly lacking in a straight line. Also note, I do have a livery on this car because I used it in that nation's race. But anyway, as we head towards the first corner, we are losing out in a straight line, so we have to send it in, and we'll just dive for that inside apex, and we gain a whole chunk of time there. So that's basically how we're going to have to drive this one to make up for our lack of horsepower in this car. But yeah, I didn't want to do upgrades to it just yet, even though that would make it very crazy to drive. I wanted to do these races, you know, with the base car as intended. So anyway, we absolutely throw it into the inside line there, and we get a few more positions. And yeah, apparently just doing a wheelie there is just part of our racing line now, as we're all the way up into 3rd position. We might be able to soon make that 2nd as we look to the outside, and might be able to get the move done here, as we will have once again the struggle in a straight line though, and there might be a bit of a concern on the run to the line. We're going to need to actually generate a bit of a gap if we can get to the lead, you know, a gap to 2nd place, in order to actually hold on to this to the line, because you can see the time we're losing. So yeah, we're dropping a position after position here. After we were basically up into 2nd position, we've dropped all the way down now into 4th, and threatening to even lose that position. But down the inside we go, big lunge, and we will move ourselves all the way back up into 2nd position with a robust move there. So we just need to take the race lead now without losing any more time. So hopefully we are going to be able to do that and get through. But you can see even on this straight, losing quite a bit of speed. Obviously with such an aggressive move, our exit wasn't great, but now we're starting to build up some speed through the S section. We might be able to make this overtake, and we throw it down the inside, get through, slam into the wall, but it's fine. We've got the position now ahead, and we can try to hold on to this to the end, but it still might not be easy. One corner left to navigate. We take a little bit to try to take a bit of a high line to go for a later apex, try and carry some speed, but we never really got down there. It's quite hard to do at that corner. Once you start on that higher line, it's just kind of tends to stay up there, even in a low powered car like this. But anyway, we're going to have the gap to the cars behind, it looks like, as we come towards the line. They're catching, but it won't be enough, and we will cross the line in 1st place. Wouldn't have been too much longer before they caught up, but we got the job done, and it is a race victory here at Lake Louis. So that's the first race that ticked off the list. Let's move on to the next one, and there's progress on the menu book. Next up, we have Sardinia Windmills Reverse, which is probably my favorite of the dirt tracks in the game. Colorado Springs is, I honestly can't remember anything about that circuit, and Fisherman's Ranch is just awful. So yeah, I do like Sardinia Windmills though. It is a nice one. So let's see how things go here. It's probably just because I've done the same 4 corners on that license test over and over, which is some not so nice memories of this circuit, but it does mean I know a particular part of this circuit very well. In fact, this part of the circuit that we are in right now, but because we are in the reverse direction, the thousands of attempts I did at that license test not really going to help me, because yeah, we're doing it backwards. But anyway, let's see how things go, as we are already starting to make our way up through the field, and we're already up into 7th position. Need to make a little bit more progress than that on the first lap this time, because we have less laps to get all the overtakes done. Quite aggressive there, and quite a big whack on the way through, but we're up now into the top 6, so we're halfway through the field, so things are looking good so far in what are very short Jimny races, as you would I guess expect for these types of cars. But anyway, we need to try and carry some good speed through this very long continuous right hand corner. We are starting to gain once again on the couple of cars ahead, so let's see if we can maybe make an overtake in the very near future. Not really close enough to do anything yet, and now we are on a straight going uphill, which is really not helping us with our lack of horsepower. But as we begin to head into another twisty section pretty soon, I think we should be able to make some more overtakes. But yeah, you can see even with the run here, we are barely catching, and pretty soon we'll be dropping back once again. So yeah, we need to get into this next twisty section and get a good run through here, and try and make some more overtakes. We got halfway through the field on the first lap. We still have half of the work to do. Big whack there on the way through, but we managed to take that position. We're up into 4th position now, as we're going to try and switch to the inside, slide through, and take P3, get a nice run on the exit. We now have another straighter section, slight bend here, which might help us as we try to get into the slipstream of the car in front. Now looking to the inside, try and shorten up the run through this corner, and we're still in the slipstream. Now we'll pop out to make the move, and the slipstream, a bit of an awkward moment there. The slipstream can make a little bit of a difference because these cars are so boxy. And now down the inside, and that's a bit deep. We're going to lose out massively on the exit there, but we're up into 2nd position, so we're almost there. Just one more car between us and the race lead. We have this long right-hander where we gained a bit of time on the previous lap, so we'll see what happens here. We tuck right in on the inside line, and that gets us alongside, should get us through and up into 1st place. So I think we've got it covered now. We've got a nice run through there, and that should see us through to the end. So long as we can get through these last couple of corners cleanly, I think we should be in the clear. So as we round the final right-hander, followed by the final left-hander, which is barely a corner at all, with the anchor wheel coming at it, we're going to come to the line, and that is going to be a fairly easy race victory here at Sardinia Windmills. So yeah, that's job done, and we can move on to the next race once more, which is at that variant of Willow Springs that I mentioned I had never seen before. So we'll head over and do that now. A 4-lap race this time, and like I said, the Horse Thief Mile version of Willow Springs. We'll get going here, and you'll see it does not look like any part of Willow Springs I've ever seen. The track is extremely narrow, and yeah, I don't know, it's basically a go-kart track. That's what it feels like. Then again, these are basically oversized go-karts. Remember, these cars that you're seeing, these are not normal sized cars on this track. It doesn't look that bad, it doesn't look that narrow, but remember, these cars are less than 3.5 meters long, and I don't know the width, but it's not much. I forget the exact number, but yeah, it's puts it in perspective that yeah, these are very, very small cars, and they look almost normal on this track. But or even on this track, they probably look big, to be honest. It's an incredibly narrow track. If you saw you know, any other car going around, it would really put it into perspective how tight and twisty this circuit is. But I guess that's why it works so well for the Jimnys. So anyway, we're doing alright so far, and we're trying to muscle our way through the field. Watch out on the right hand side there with that embankment just before the start line, because you can very easily find yourself going up on 2 wheels if you get up on that embankment, which I may or may not have done once in the past when I first discovered this circuit. But anyway, we're up a good chunk of position, so we're up into the top 5 after just 1 lap. So progress very quick in this race so far. but we'll see if that can continue. But yeah, I don't actually know much about this circuit in terms of what it's used for in real life. Someone let me know what the Horse Thief Mile is used for, if it's some kind of little test track or if it is a go-kart track, because that is really what it feels like. I don't know, maybe it's a bit big for go-karts, but it really does give that impression. But yeah, there's no curbing, there's not even lines on the edge of the track, there's nothing, it's literally just a racetrack in the sand. So it's yeah, it's quite interesting. But anyway, as we continue through, taking a little bit of that inside sand to just cut that corner slightly, and you can get pretty racy around here in the Jimnys, and we're able to make a nice move to the inside there. And yeah, the way the corners sort of lead into each other in certain places, it is actually a pretty fun track to drive, you know, despite its general smallness. But anyway, we have a nice run now on the race leader, so are we going to be able to make a move? Maybe we're not quite close enough, but we're definitely thinking about it here. But we won't be close enough into the braking zone. They go on a kind of weird defensive line. We carry a lot of speed on a very awkward outside line, and in the end we can't quite get that move done. We have to remain in second position for a little bit longer, but it's not long before we can get through, surely. We'll try and carry the speed around the outside. Can we get to the inside here? As we're going to have a look. Can we? We do get the nose in just about there. And that's going to see us through into the race lead. And that is where we're going to stay as we come across the very much unmarked finish line. Just a guy waving the checkered flag. And that is going to be it. That is the end of the race here at the Horse Thief Mile layout at Willow Springs. And yeah, that's job done in the Jimny Cup. So 3 pretty short races, but anyway, that completes our menu book. We get a 4-star roulette ticket from that one, so we'll check that out in a moment. But first, we will check out one of the extra menus added in this update. There were 2 of them, and yeah, we're going to check out this Nissan Motorsports one. We have some very iconic looking Nissan race cars in this menu book, and we'll be checking out that Dodge one a little bit later. But anyway, Nissan Motorsports, we get a 6-star roulette ticket for this one. So congratulations, you've got all 3 cars. This completes your Nissan Motorsports collection. Once you've collected your present, I've got some stories to tell you about these cars. And yeah, that is another collection we've already completed by the time the menu book is added. As of course, we have every car in the game now. But there it is, a 6-star roulette ticket for our troubles. And let's see what we can learn about these cars. These legendary Nissan racers are known the world over. Indeed, they are the envy of collectors everywhere. Longtime veterans of motorsports, Nissan has been racing its cars since the 1930s. Among its many great achievements are the first-gen Skyline GTR, Hakosuka, which dominated GT races in Japan, and the first-gen Fairlady Z of Safari Rally fame. This Skyline Super Silhouette was a contender at the Super Silhouette, a popular Japanese series of the 1980s. A major feature of this series was that it placed few restrictions on its road car contestants. Based on the 6th generation Skyline, the Super Silhouette received various aerodynamic parts and a powerful turbo engine that propelled it to numerous victories, with Masahiro Hasemi behind the wheel. After the Super Silhouette series ended in the mid-1980s, Nissan set its sights on Group C endurance racing. At the time, Group C racing was the most hotly contested category at the Le Mans 24 Hours. The R92CP was one of Nissan's greatest contributions to the legendary category. Although a change in regulations banned it from Le Mans, it raced the All Japan Sports Prototype Championship in '92. Beating out the competition to take both the drivers' and constructors' titles. In the 90s, Nissan focused its efforts on tearing up the track at domestic touring car races. And with the revival of the Skyline GTR, it really took the Japanese scene by storm. Based on the R34 Skyline GTR, the Pennzoil Nismo GTR dominated the All Japan GT Championship in 1999. The last champion car to carry a straight 6 RB26 DETT. It is one car that will not soon be forgotten. As you can imagine, I could go on and on about Nissan's achievements, for each of its cars is a real gem. And that's the end of the story. Play school. Anyway, let's head over to the roulette ticket thingy and see what we get for both of these roulette tickets actually. For we have two to spin. We'll start with the 4-star ticket that we got from the old Jimny Cup, and we're going to win a small pile of money. For that one, 10,000 credits worth, so nothing too crazy, but hey, who's gonna say no to $10,000? We go ahead and spin the second one, a 6-star roulette ticket, $1 million on the cards for this one, and we're gonna get it too. Very nice. Well, that's gonna pay for, well, not the next car we're gonna drive, but the one after that. But before we even do that, we got another free Genesis for some reason. I don't know, apparently there was some problem with the first one. I forget exactly what it was, but yeah, they gave everyone a second one, so yeah, that's cool. We were able to sell the first one and get some money for it. But anyway, we now have a Vision Gran Turismo race to do, and we are at the Tokyo Expressway driving this new Genesis, and I have to fix the menu screen here so I can actually see what the other cars are. But anyway, we're off and racing here, and let's see how this goes. Not familiar with the Genesis VGT really, so this could be a bit of an interesting drive. We managed to muscle our way past and move ourselves up one position though, and it's immediately apparent that this car is quite quick in a straight line. So that is very good news. Look at how we just zoom past the Mini there, but its turning capabilities could do with some work. In some ways, I'd say it's very much a typical VGT. Very quick in a straight line. When it comes to braking and turning, not so good. I don't know why it's such a common theme with VGTs that they're so reluctant to turn. They just have so much understeer. But it's just the way a lot of them are. It's quite strange. But anyway, yeah, we'll see how this race goes. Wall riding slightly accidentally there, as we're just trying to make our way around the car in front. But anyway, as we we're very, very, very deep there. We have to just about come to a complete stop to make the corner, as we were just not even close to making that. But regardless, we build the speed up very quickly on the exit, and now we're in a world of trouble because we actually have some proper corners coming up. So we have to be a little bit careful through this section, trying to carry the speed, but quite difficult to do when you have a solid object in your way. But anyway, we still trying to fight away for this position, and eventually we'll muscle our way past both of those cars that were holding us up there. But yeah, this is yeah, quite a tough car to drive. Just generally yeah, just, oh, okay. Even on the traction on the exit, it can get a bit snappy, and then, yeah, it doesn't like to turn. So it's kind of got the opposite characteristics to what you want. You want it to be very quick to turn on the entry, and then be nice and stable on the exit, not the other way around. So, yeah, I don't know why it's such a thing with VGTs, but a lot of them are like this. They really struggle with turning, and then they're just absolute rocket ships in a straight line. But anyway, let's see if we can make another few positions here as we have another long straight section coming up. Power down as we head into the tunnel. We'll slide to the outside, and we'll race our way through the tunnel, and hard into the wall there because the car just did not turn. I thought that at least that kind of, you know, pretty much a nothing corner would be flat, but it's not even close. But anyway, we managed to gain a whole bunch of places there, and we're actually all the way up into the race lead. If we can actually get it stopped here, we bounce off the outside wall, drop back into P3, but we'll immediately get the lead back on the exit. Well, not quite actually, we drop into second position in behind. We continue on later in the race, and we'll see if we can make the move down the inside, and we'll see if we can get this done off board at the moment as we're trying to look around. But yeah, this car, like I sort of said, it's just not that good in the corners. Very hard to actually get the overtake done on a car like the Porsche, which certainly isn't my favourite VGT, but it's better in the corners than this thing apparently. Which yeah, we're just really struggling to get it through these corners, but we managed to get through there okay. The Porsche still right behind us, but once we get the power down, we should be away and clear. And so we now continue on to the end of the race, and that's about all there was for this one. We were able to hold on, albeit not by too much, but that's the victory nonetheless here at Tokyo Expressway in the Genesis X Gran Berlinetta VGT concept, I think it was called. So now we can move on to the next car on the list, and the final one we'll be driving in this video. And this is a bit of a random one, BVLGARI, which apparently is an Italian watch company, but they made a VGT, strangely enough. So I guess you don't have to be a car company to design concept cars. And this is probably one of the more interesting VGTs to come along recently in terms of its appearance. The Vision Gran Turismo is inspired by BVLGARI's aluminium wristwatch from 1998, so not even a new one. But anyway, in terms of its form, materials, and colouring, it perfectly reflects the design and spirit of its namesake. The barchetta body is an archetype of sportiness, okay, showcasing the creativity and character of the traditional Italian car design. It is a homage to the many concept cars of the 60s and 70s, the golden age of Italian carrozzerie, and a pure expression of BVLGARI's timeless design DNA, apparently. So yeah, I'm actually curious who, like, at some point someone had to, you know, draw all the designs and shapes of the car. I'm curious if that was someone actually from BVLGARI, or if they, you know, outsourced that. But anyway, there's a million credits down the drain for this car, so let's see how well it drives. And we have another Vision Gran Turismo race to do, this time at Monza. So let's see how it goes. This car, I think on paper, not going to be as quick. In fact, I believe this is probably one of the slowest VGTs around, if I recall correctly, just by the performance points. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I don't know. We'll just have to drive the car and see what happens, but it looks nice enough, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. We've lost a lot of time, but that was mostly just due to me braking way too early into turn 1, but let's hope throughout the rest of the circuit we should be able to catch up, at least to the slower cars, and feels nicer to drive, I have to say, than the Genesis. The straight line speed to handling balance ratio, if such a thing exists, is much nicer. You know, when you I think about it like if you drive an LMP1 car, you expect it to be very quick in a straight line and also very quick through the corners, whereas you know, if you drive a Toyota Prius, you expect it to be slow in the corners and slow on the straights. When you drive a VGT, a lot of them are fast on the straights and slow in the corners, and that's what makes them so difficult and a little bit frustrating to drive. But anyway, let's see how this thing is, as we are eventually going to actually make an overtake and move ourselves up one position ahead of the Subaru Visiv, one of my favourite VGTs. I remember when that thing was added into Gran Turismo 6, everyone was going on about how good it sounds. And we get past the Mini as well, and probably one of the least creative in terms of its appearance, but looks very cool nonetheless. And now we are storming through the field as we pass the Nissan as well as the BMW, and now finally the Mercedes. And yeah, we are starting to make some decent progress, but the cars towards the front are going to be much faster. A lot of these are kind of the classic VGTs, the older, what I'd call the older style ones from Gran Turismo 6 before they got a bit silly and fast. Yeah, a lot of them were... I actually like a lot of the older ones better, like the BMW, I believe was the second one, the Mercedes was the first, and you know, the Nissan was quite early as well. So to have a car like this more in line with those, I actually really like, and I really did enjoy driving this BVLGARI VGT, but unfortunately it's just not that fast, like I said, and I think we're going to struggle to make too much more progress in this race. We are up into P10. The next car up the road is the Honda, which is a VGT I'm actually not all too familiar with, but we are steadily closing in to the Honda. We might be able to make the move, probably not into Ascari, but we do seem to have better straight line speed, so we might be able to get it done. Oh, actually we might get there for Ascari. We slam into the back of the Honda, and we'll try to set up a good exit here, and we get a nice run, move ourselves up one more position into P9. Next car up the road is the Infiniti, and as we continue on, we do catch up to said Infiniti, and we're going to go for a bit of a late and clumsy move, but I didn't feel like hanging around for too long because we have plenty of work to do left in this race. As we shift our attention forward once again, we have another Mercedes just up the road. And it's only a matter of about 30 seconds before we catch up to the Mercedes. We'll get past in a straight line and turn our attention forwards to the ISO Revolta, one of the other kind of random ones, the Zagato VGT. We go off the road there though at Ascari. That's not going to help, but we'll carry on our merry way. And as we head towards turn 1, we're going to go for the move down the inside, and we'll just about get that one done, get it stopped nicely, and we'll start getting a bit aggressive over these curbs because we are fast running out of time in this race, and we're only up into P6. Rounding off the top 5 in front of us is another BVLGARI VGT. We'll make the move in a straight line and move ourselves up into that 5th position, but that does kind of show that there are some much faster cars than the BVLGARI on track, and it's going to be tricky to make any further progress in this race. Our next target is a Jaguar VGT, but unfortunately we couldn't quite catch up to the Jaguar, and we'll spin it across the line to take P5, and yeah, that was a little bit of a disappointing one. We probably could have without any mistakes done a bit better, but we're going to have another crack at it in the Lambo. One of my favourite VGTs, definitely fits into the category of all straight line speed, no turning, but its crazy looks more than make up for that. So yeah, we are hopefully going to have some more luck in the Lambo, and I want to go with something Italian. And yeah, this thing, I mean, just look at it. It is no part of this is even remotely a normal car. Yeah, it's just so bizarre looking, it's crazy, and I love it. But anyway, we'll see if we can get a nice run. Look at the way the straight line speed builds. It's got nothing in the corners. It's, you know, sort of same as everything else. Maybe even it builds a bit worse at times. And yeah, just you can see the understeer there. It really doesn't have the cornering to match its straight line speed at all. But as soon as we hit the straights, it is just insane. Look at the speed build as we just fly past everyone else. You know, these are the cars that are slower in a straight line, the VGTs that are a bit more balanced in the way they drive. Yeah, it's crazy speed as we make our way around the outside. We're up all the way into P9 already, so good progress on the first lap. Still have Parabolica to go, but no one really within range in front of us at the moment. As we head into the first corner though, can't quite get it stopped. We sort of bail out of it, and well, that didn't quite go as planned. We absolutely barge our way through, and yeah, we move ourselves up into 7th position as we head through Curva Grande. Now, as we head towards the Della Roger chicane, straight line speed building, we look to the inside, but again, we're coming up to some tight corners here. A bit of contact as we awkwardly make our way through there, and we're up into the top 5 now. So we've already made as much progress as we did throughout the entire race in the BVLGARI. Speaking of BVLGARI, we're going to pass the very BVLGARI right now and move ourselves up into 4th position. So yeah, an easy overtake in a straight line there. Still the podium runners to go in front of us, but they are close together as we head into the Della Roger chicane, or at least 2 of them are. So we still have a bit of work to do, as the next target for us is going to be the Peugeot VGT. So the speed builds as we head around this long right-hander of Curva Grande. We've got more speed through there than the Peugeot, which is the boatiest of boats through the corners, and we get through, we bounce over curbs because this thing doesn't turn, but we're up into 3rd position nonetheless. Next up, the Jaguar VGT. So let's see if we can get a run probably towards Ascari. We should be able to get a nice run on the Jaguar because the straight line speed of the Lamborghini I think is better, although we seem pretty even to begin with. As we get into the higher speeds though, we are gaining a little bit. We're going to have to be late on the brakes, or down the inside. Have we gone too late? No, it looks like we're going to be fine as we barge our way through a little bit there. There's a bit of an awkward overtake to make, but nonetheless we're up into 2nd position now, just the race leader in front of us in the Genesis out in front. So yeah, that car demonstrating its straight line capabilities here at Monza. And as we continue on, we do catch up to the Genesis, and we'll make the move down the inside and hopefully get this done into the Della Roger chicane, and we will get the move done nicely there, move ourselves up into the race lead. And we come towards the line then to take the victory here, and it was a pretty easy one once we got into the Lambo. It's probably a little bit overpowered for this kind of event, especially at a circuit that does very much suit the Lambo, with so many long straights and high-speed sections at Monza. But anyway, it's now time for the Dodge menu book. So congratulations, you've got all 3 cars. This completes your Dodge collection. Once you've collected your present, I've got some stories to tell you about these cars. And there we have it. The collection Dodge completed, and a 5-star roulette ticket for our troubles. So, let's see what we can learn about these cars. Collection Dodge. Dodge is a brand with deep roots in American car culture and over 100 years of manufacturing experience. These 3 cars clearly convey the brand's enduring appeal. A 2-seater American sports car masterpiece, the Viper has been praised as a modern reimagining of the Shelby Cobra. Meanwhile, the 1968 Charger 426 Hemi and the 2018 Challenger SRT Demon have played starring roles in America's homegrown muscle car story. Muscle cars emerged between the 1950s and 1970s as a popular style of high-performance vehicle. Their design philosophy is quite simple, beginning with a large V8 mounted onto a medium or large size car that is afterwards tuned for speed and acceleration. Released in 1968, the Charger quickly emerged as the star of this muscle car culture. Its high-performance Hemi V8 engine had a 7-litre displacement and could gallop at a pace of nearly 450 horsepower. The 1968 model has a striking design that immediately becomes apparent when viewed from above. The two geometric shapes that distinguish its front and rear form what are called a double diamond. With its brute strength and beautiful style, the 68 Charger was an undisputed muscle car masterpiece. In 1970, Dodge unveiled another muscle car, the now legendary first-generation Challenger RT. In the 2000s, Dodge remade this exceptional car for the modern driver. Among the modern Challengers, the most iconic is this SRT Demon. Powered by a 6.2-litre V8 with more than 800 horsepower, it could be fitted with drag racing tyres upon request. This is indeed a fine collection of Dodge cars that speaks to the strength and style of American car culture. And there we have it. That is everything from update 1.42, and now we have a final roulette ticket, another 5-star ticket, and we get a invitation to buy the Citroen once again. Great, because we already didn't need that last time. But anyway, that is going to do it for this one. Here's a bunch of VGTs racing at high speed ring while I do the outro. But yeah, the BVLGARI VGT, like some of the others, if you drive it yourself in a custom race, you can't actually put it against a custom field of cars. It just fills out all the rest of the cars with BVLGARI VGTs, and you can't do anything about it. So this is actually an AI car driving around. But anyway, that is going to do it for this one. So I will say thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I really do appreciate it. Please feel free to give me some feedback in the comments. It is always very helpful. Other than that, I will see you in the next one, and goodbye. Oh, and if you have managed to watch this far, here is an extra little bit of silliness I just did. I tried again that Monza race in the BVLGARI VGT to see if I could win it in this car, and I was able to, but only after some extreme shortcutting. Couldn't do it properly, but I did find that this car does react in some pretty strange ways when you hit those movable barriers at the chicanes, so I'll just let the clips speak for themselves.